Good morning, and welcome to the Senior Hour, which is sponsored by Comfort Keepers in Home Care and Advanced Audiology. I'm Barbara Cochran with my co-host,
Dr. Jean Dorio,
on your hometown station, 98.1 FM, AM 1220, KHTS. This is a show for, about, and by seniors, giving information to enhance one's quality of life. And speaking of quality of life, we have Shannon Avazian here. She's with Assisted Living Locators.
Hello.
Welcome. It's good to
Barbara.
see you again.
Good to see you.
been a
welcome
long
back.
time.
Happy New Year.
You
Even though it's
too.
February now.
Right. Happy Valentine's Day.
Already
There we
lost
are.
1 month.
Happy Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
That's what's happening. So, what's happening in your business?
In my business, well,
Yes.
that's a story all by itself.
Yes.
We've been really busy. In fact, I was a little bit running behind today because I had a family contact me in crisis mode. And, that's where, somebody, they don't know where to go. They either financially or a place to find, whether it's too hard, maybe, someone has advanced dementia and there's behavioral issues, that's where we come into play, and that's what was going on this morning. And I'm just so grateful that I'm able to help families like that.
But when you say crisis mode, typically and usually, Shannon, it's going to be crisis mode because to anticipate our needs when our older adult family is getting older, and for most of us, we are not going to anticipate that there needs to be a change, there needs to be a move, because there's resistance to it. And, crisis mode is kind of, boom, it hits you, and, that's where you come in. You have to, take care of the things that need to be taken care of. But we're talking about older adults who are typically living at home and can't live at home anymore.
Right. And we've talked about it before. It's so, like you said, we're on that path, and we should be looking at options, whether it's interviewing caregivers for in-home care, or maybe, there's a widow left at home, and maybe they want to look at more activities outside of the home, and that's maybe where the larger assisted living comes into play. We have options today, whether we want to stay in the home or maybe it's moved past that and we want to look outside the home. But it's really about educating our community on what we have available.
And realize, isn't it always that as we go into retirement, as we're slowing down, really in the forefront is that we don't want to go to a nursing home.
No.
And that's, to us, it's not an option. But in the past, it was either you're at home or you're going to a nursing home.
Right.
Now, as you mentioned, there are a lot of other options that are available to be considered, but the best time to think about it is beforehand, if you can, and not have that crisis mode, but it's best to think beforehand.
Right.
So let's talk a little bit about those options, what they are. And when a family or the resident themselves, they call you up and you go in and you're invited to get that history as what's going on, how do you go about doing that? How do you go about gathering up the information and then coming up with, for me, I make a diagnosis and then I have treatment plan, but how do you do that?
It's kind of the same thing. So basically, I like to meet with the family, whether that's over the phone or in person.
Isn't it better in person?
It's always better in person.
Yes.
Today, it's so many people like to do the research themselves. And
That's
I
true.
really pride myself on being that trusted resource that will come out and literally hold your hand through the process. But there are people who just want the research and the data, and they don't want to be bothered with that in person. So I really try and meet the family of where they are. And then once we do that, we do a formal intake medically. And I'm sure it's not as extensive as a doctor's, but I am going to say we do an in-depth assessment, and that's going to tell us basically what their medical needs are from a assisted living standpoint. How many things do they need assistance with daily activities? And that's what we're looking for. And then from there, we really need to dive into what their financials, how does that look when we're talking about long-term, possibly, assisted living. And so, because there's lots of things to consider. You know, you go and you meet with your attorney and you set up your trust. And so many of us do that nowadays, but we really don't talk about if for some reason I happen to get dementia, you know, and I'm incapacitated to make those decisions. You know, where do I want to be? How much money do I want to spend? And that's something we should be discussing in, you know, maybe in the trust or with our families. You know, that is a logical, we're living longer. And so once we do the assessment, then we're able to make a determination based on that and give you some recommendations. And from there, if that all sounds good to the family, then we go out, we actually meet with the properties. We work like a real estate agent. We'll go out, we'll tour. A lot of times I spend the day, you know, having lunch with the families at the communities so they can really taste the food and the environment to get a full picture of what that assisted living would look like.
And, you know, I'm reminded of those television shows that, you know, someone's looking for a home and they ask them beforehand, before they take them to 3 places. They say, how many bedrooms do you want? Do you want a front yard and a backyard? Do you want a view of the ocean? Blah, 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 blah. You know, they have all that. There's a psychosocial part about this also that people want. I mean, for some of my friends I know, the guys I know, they want their little den, their little playroom, their little place where they can watch sports, and their garage. Others I know want to have their garden, and some even want to keep mowing their lawn. So everybody's got different needs as we try to put these things together. But a part of how you analyze this is you end up contouring it to what their wants and needs are.
And what is available
And that's,
to meet those needs.
That's
And
right.
And
no
I
view
think
of the
that's,
ocean.
that's,
here.
that's a critical point.
right. And and thank you for mentioning that, because it is, especially in crisis mode, you're going to spend a lot of time, you know, calling places and they'll say, no, I'm full, no, I can't take that type of, you know, health condition. Maybe somebody has diabetes, and those are all things you need to know. Certain, you know, facilities or communities can take that and others can't. So that's where we step in and we're able to streamline that process for you and say, okay, these are the ones that are available within your price and within what your needs specifically
Yeah.
are.
Yeah. And in fact, I've recently been involved with a friend who has needed a place to go. She was living in a senior apartment complex by herself, and she hasn't been well. And her daughter has come up from San Diego, and several of her friends sort of saw the situation, and we've been able to assist. And we have found her a lovely board and care
It's wonderful.
with 5 other people, and she's a little bit upset at having to do this,
Sure.
you know, but she knows that she's going to be in a good place and she'll be taken care of.
Yeah.
And that's such a relief to her
everyone.
friends. Yes, it really
It
is.
really is.
And I give kudos to them for really pushing the envelope
Yeah.
and making it happen.
Absolutely. And that transition period is difficult, but usually it's a short term, you know, usually 2 weeks to about a month. And then if they're in the right home, they're going to feel that.
That's exactly
And that's
right.
what's so important. You know, the worst thing you can do is move in, make a rushed decision, and then have to move again. And that's where we really try to find the right fit the first time. That's very important to me.
It's interesting. The group of us preferred was the one that was not available.
Sure.
But they were both very nice homes. And we went to both of them and met the people there and saw the environment and the outside and the whole thing. And I think she'll be happy there because she'll have people around her that will stimulate her rather than being all alone.
Right.
Even
Right.
though she did have a part-time caregiver,
Sure.
but it wasn't enough.
Yeah.
And but now she's in a good place, and we're all happy about it.
Wishing her all the best.
Yes,
That's wonderful.
thank you.
That's
I
wonderful.
think it will. I think it's going to work out.
Good.
Is it here in
So,
Santa Clarita?
Yes, yes,
Cool, cool.
absolutely.
Wonderful.
So a boarding care, Barbara mentioned it. If for our listeners' sake, and the caregivers that might be out there listening also, what's a boarding care?
A boarding care is, it's a residential home that's licensed typically for 6 residents. And social services is, basically, they have to file with social services. So they'll do safety checks, make sure the home is in compliance with everything they need to be. And it's so important because nowadays, a lot of unlicensed boarding cares pop up, and that's something you really need to be careful of because
Yes.
yes, they're charging less, but they're not in compliance.
And not in
They
compliance.
do not have the training necessarily. You know, and you're talking about your loved one being in their care, and what recourses do you have if something was to go wrong? You know, you really need to look at that. So that's what a boarding care is. I wish they would change the name. I like saying care homes personally.
homes.
I don't
That's
like
better.
boarding care.
Boarding
It kind
care.
of reminds me of
Yeah,
something else.
It's
but
cold.
It is cold.
yeah.
It
you
is.
know.
It's cold when you
Right.
say board and care. Wait a minute, board?
Yeah. Yeah, no,
like-
I don't,
I mean,
I don't
there's so
necessarily
many-
like the name, but I
No.
do like the model. There are wonderful ones in Santa Clarita, in Antelope Valley, also in the San Fernando Valley. You know, we have some options, and what that means is usually when the care is a little bit more care is required, then the larger communities, caregiving can actually, I'm stumbling here, but it's where you need to have a higher level of care. And it'll cost typically a little bit less than the resort style because of the model, the residential care home.
Yeah, higher level means more care.
More care.
More
Yes.
care, as opposed to they're better off and they're doing better, they don't need as much care.
Right.
Higher level of care means they need more
more
care.
personalized
personalized
care.
care.
I think
Yeah.
that's what that is.
Yeah.
And some of the homes here we have in Santa Clarita have been here for decades. And the people are very experienced in caring for loved ones who are out there.
They're dedicated to
Yeah.
them,
And they-
dedicated to doing that.
And they have individuals that have stayed there forever, you know, for
Long
years
term,
and years,
yeah.
long term,
Yeah.
that have been taken care of. And,
Right.
you know, but they know how to do it. And you want to be able to see, and I think that's what you do.
Yeah.
You check the place out, you know,
Yeah.
you just don't go on and see how many stars they might have or check marks they might have. You
I
are,
physically
check it all out and know
Right.
these places.
I do, and you know, I have a client that is younger. She's actually 65 years old, but she's been bedbound for about a year and a half.
Oh, no.
She had some slip discs, and you know, didn't get the surgery she needed, and she had people coming in to take care of her at her apartment, and it was really a nightmare. Really, a really bad situation. And so we went ahead and I, you know, recommended a place, and she's been there for about 6 months, and she's thriving. And when I say thrive, you know, the social aspect, yes, she's not able to get out of bed. That will probably never change. But she's being cared for, she's being cleaned, she's being, you know, just the whole atmosphere is a totally different situation than being at home in an apartment when somebody stops by and brings you a McDonald's once a week or once a night. You know, it's kind of a totally different situation
Yeah,
for
she's
her.
getting
and we're
good meals and being
Everything.
well taken care of. Yeah,
everything.
that makes a big difference.
It's huge.
It
you
really
know?
does.
And usually those in boarding care are not as mobile
Right.
as others. And when we move in a direction where you need less care, we can talk about assisted living. And we have quite a few now assisted living facilities here in Santa Clarita that are pretty outstanding. Some are expensive, but pretty outstanding, and give great care to loved ones who have come to this community to be with their family. So tell us then what assisted living is.
Assisted living is really, it's a change of life for the senior. It's really an experience, and I like to say it's a resort style community. It's where you're going to go and you're going to, especially in Santa Clarita, we have some top notch, like you mentioned.
Yes, we do.
I mean, the food is phenomenal. The experience, you go there for an event and they're dressed up to the T. They're in their pearl necklaces, and I love seeing seniors thrive. We're living longer. Why shouldn't we?
Absolutely,
Why shouldn't we?
absolutely. I couldn't agree more.
And that's the reality, and you think, oh, assisted living, I think they just need to change that name sometimes because it's really senior living. And in Santa Clarita specifically, the properties are amazing. I recommend, all of them. They're really outstanding. Some are better than others, of course, but that's really where you're going to go, and there's usually levels of care, or it could be a la carte depending on the different communities. But you're going to get assistance with your bathing, your grooming, all of that type of daily activity. If you need some escorting to the dinner hall, things like that. But you're really going to be there for the social aspect. It's more like a hotel. There's apartments. There's each individual apartment has its own restroom. It's really like a hotel, and it's not what it used to be. It's something worth, if you don't know, call me and we'll make a day of it, and really see what it is to live a life in one of these communities. It's so impressive. It really is.
And we have, like you said, we have some really nice ones up here.
I wish they had
really
one
do.
for, general population. Why is there an age on it,
And some of them,
Real.
Shannon, they do have memory care as well,
Memory care.
which is really important. It's an important part of, the fears and worries that individuals might have moving into having memory problems. But the caregivers, the family members are even more worried because how sometimes their loved ones have emotional and mental problems that they can't thrive, and they have to be watched. And if the family are not able to do it, these facilities have the ability to do that for them.
Yeah, and it's so important, so many families deal with loved ones that are they've been at home, and I share this with my own experience. My mother, she just wanted to stay at home, and I kept her at home. That's the wrong word, but I agreed to that. And it almost went to the point of too far, in that I had to look the other way a lot of times. I knew she wasn't eating well. I knew she wasn't bathing well. She lived in a 2-story. She wasn't able to walk up, that second flight of stairs, and I knew that. But what was I supposed to do? And so what it is it's really taking a look at your loved one. And are they safe? My mom was constantly in the hospital with UTIs. Why? Because she wasn't able to shower. Why? Because of the second story, But I was just trying to do my best to keep her at home. Those were her wishes. And when I was able to really take a look at that, and after 911 calls, I had to move her into an assisted living, she thrived.
Yeah.
She thrived.
Wow.
So
Big
That's
difference.
wonderful.
Yeah.
That's wonderful. Well, Shannon, it's been a delight having you again.
Thank you.
And how can we get in touch with you if
Well-
if the need arises?
Sure. So you can either contact me by my telephone number, 661-544-1004, or assistedlivinglocators.com, and that will pop you up into my webpage.
Wonderful. Thank you so much again, Sharon.
Thank
It
you.
was lovely having you here.
Great, Shannon,
And Shannon is the name of my granddaughter.
Common thread.
Absolutely.
Common thread.
Thanks again.
Thank you.
I'm Barbara Cochran with my co-host, Dr. Jean Dorio, on your hometown station, 98.1 FM, AM 1220, KHTS.
The best live theater can be found right here in the Santa Clarita Valley. The Canyon Theater Guild has been entertaining audiences for decades with top quality musicals and plays. Located on Main Street in Old Town Newhall, CTG also offers workshops for the young actor in your family. For more information, call the box office at 799-2702 or go online to canyontheater.org.
At Advanced Audiology, we know how important hearing is to you, your loved ones, your work success, your safety, and your ability to stay in the game. Most people won't admit hearing loss to themselves or others. We make it easy for you. Today's digital hearing aids come in a variety of styles, including invisible. All feature-rich, providing unparalleled hearing quality, wearing comfort, and automation that simplifies your life. Don't be fooled by our imitators. There's only one Advanced Audiology with the purple sign next to AAA on Valencia Boulevard.
Hi, I'm Miles McNamara, Certified Senior Advisor and owner of Comfort Keepers in Home Care. Our caregivers help you in your own home. A Comfort Keeper can provide companionship, meal preparation, medication monitoring, assistance with personal care, transportation to doctor appointments, all enhancing your independence and safety in the comfort and privacy of your own home. So if you or someone you love could use a helping hand at home, call Comfort Keepers at 287-4200. That's 287-4200.
I never thought I'd be looking for an assisted living home until Mom got sick. Suddenly there were questions that I didn't have answers to and only limited time to find the answers. What facility could take the best care of Mom? Then my mother's social worker gave me a brochure for assisted living locators and informed me that assisted living locators is recommended by more healthcare professionals than any other agency.
Call Shannon at Assisted Living Locators, 544-1004. That's 544-1004.
Your hometown station.
Our news team at KHTS is constantly working to keep you informed. If you want the latest and greatest information on the Santa Clarita Valley, just sign up for the KHTS newsletter. SCV News delivered directly to your email inbox every weekday by 5 p.m. and a special weekend edition on Sundays. All it takes is an email address and you're set. Go to hometownstation.com to register.
98.1 FM and AM 1220.
This is Bradley Gross from Santa Clarita Grocery. Santa Clarita Grocery serves fresh groceries to families, individuals, and those experiencing homelessness. At Santa Clarita Grocery, out of every dollar donated, a full 99 cents goes directly to the needs being addressed. As an all-volunteer-led organization, we operate on a 1% overhead, receiving no government funding for our operations in the community, resulting in us being one of the most efficient charities in the Santa Clarita Valley. If you're looking to support the good for our community, please consider partnering with us by donating to Santa Clarita Grocery. What is donated is specifically kept in the Santa Clarita Valley, helping over 3,000 families, including 5 other community charities. Please visit our website, santaclaritagrocery.org, or visit us on social media or call us at 425-7575. That's 425-7575.
Moms, dads, this is Cardin Ellis, owner of Unipest. If your house has ants, spiders, or gophers, or you want a free orange oil termite inspection, you have to call Unipest Termite and Pest Control, Santa Clarita's only factory-certified orange oil pest control company. We specialize in organic, low-impact, and traditional pest control options that are all kid-friendly, pet-friendly, and affordable with no contracts, and we're SCV owned and operated. Call us at 661-BUG-7575 or visit unipest.com.
Your hometown station.
Will you still need me? Will you still feed me when I'm 64?
Welcome back to the Senior Hour. I'm Barbara Cochran with my co-host, Dr. Jean Dorio, on your hometown station, 98.1 FM, AM 1220, KHTS. And our guest now is one of our sponsors, Nola Aronson from Advanced Audiology. Welcome, my love.
Welcome. Hi.
Long time no see.
Yeah, welcome. Thank you for having me again.
And what's up in your life?
What's up?
What are the things you're hearing about?
That's a good one.
Yes.
For the new year. Well,
a new year with a new ear.
Hey.
And we do.
These lefties over here.
Yeah. We do have a new ear for the new year.
Wonderful.
Cool.
So, Well, first, I'd like to say that I'm quite honored. I won the Best Business of the Year at the Santa Clarita Valley Chamber.
Congratulations, we heard.
Wonderful.
That is great.
That was very
Very
an
deserving.
honor.
But, you know, not just the quality of care that you give my patients, but also, in addition, what you do in this community, Nola, is totally, you know, outstanding. And, you know, I think that when they're honoring you, there are just different aspects of what you do for everybody around you, not just the hearing part, but also the giving part to especially the many of the nonprofits that have to survive. We hear every day. I go to meetings and nonprofits are there and they're struggling. They're
Yes.
struggling to make ends meet, to give services to people who are in need, and you know sometimes they fail because there aren't enough. Their budget isn't kept in good enough shape to be able to survive. And you have selected and helped so many nonprofits here in Santa Clarita to survive and give services to so many people that are indeed where it's needed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was just honored yesterday to help one of our founding members of a certain board and, you know, help her be able to hear better because she lost one of her hearing aids, and now because of what she's going through health-wise, was not able to afford anything to replace them, and I was honored to be able to donate some hearing aids to her.
That's terrific.
So that
I mean, you just keep
'cause she's-
on and on, Nola, on and on. You just keep.
she's so
doing
deserving.
you know, and you know there are many deserving people, but you know you stand and taking a step forward to help so many of them out. And you know we're just so proud that one, you sponsor our show, but two, you know are in our community for 32 years now.
33 years now.
33 years now.
Whoa, they
Yeah.
keep adding up, don't
Yeah.
they?
We keep
Well, you
getting,
know,
growing up a little bit more every year. Things are constantly changing every year,
Oh,
too.
yes, yes,
And,
yes.
yeah, so today I went to a convention about a week ago on a brand new hearing device. So times are really changing when it comes to the world of hearing. First of all, we've talked many times about all the different health problems that people can have because of their hearing loss. Number one being isolation, because when you cannot communicate with people, you stop doing the things that you love. Isolation affects the brain, and which can lead to dementia and Alzheimer's. But it also affects your heart. And hearing is connected to the heart, and heart disease is actually the number one problem related to hearing. So the other thing is diabetes. Most people, or many people with diabetes, do have some degree of hearing loss. They've linked even cancer because of emotional things. You know, cancer can be caused, you know, sometimes by emotional stress. I'm a good example of that. And I'm going to be a 20-year breast cancer survivor this year. So
Congratulations, that is great.
Fantastic.
so that's exciting. So anyway, so there's a company called Starkey, which is the only all-American made hearing aid company. The company started by one man, and he started in his garage many years ago just making ear molds. And now he has over 6,000 employees on
cool.
10 acres of land in Minneapolis. And he has the same philosophy I do, which is why I admire him and his hearing aids so much. His name is Bill Austin. And he did this all on his own. And what he does now is he takes all the proceeds from his hearing aids and he gives them back to third world countries. So they go to a
Interesting.
different third world country all the time. It's called the Hearing World Foundation. And they have very famous people going with them to these third world countries. One of them is Damon John from Shark Tank, and he came to speak with us at the convention.
Oh, wow.
There's also Sir Richard Branson, Virgin Airlines.
Yes.
He came to speak with us about business. Matthew McConaughey,
Wow.
Colin Powell.
That was quite a lineup. Wasn't it?
It was so much
Well, now,
fun.
getting back to this gentleman who started this, what
Bill Austin.
what spurred him on? Was he hard of hearing?
No, he just felt there was a need to help people hear better.
Okay.
So anyway, so they presented this new hearing aid because of the health problems. And hearing aids aren't hearing aids anymore. So get that out of your head. We all have Bluetooth devices. We all want to be hands-free when we talk on the phone, especially in our cars. So that's what hearing devices are now. They are Bluetooth headsets. And they are now called healthables.
Healthables?
Healthables instead of hearing aids. And the reason for that is they have multi-purposes to them now. And they provide brain and body activity tracking, plus fall detection alerts. Plus, now they have a feature for caregivers. So if you have a caregiver and you can't change your batteries, or they have rechargeable hearing aids now, but the caregiver can always be alerted to what's happening and whether the person's wearing their hearing aid or not. So it's a proactive approach to protecting your overall wellness. So it measures your heart rate. It has Siri in it, so you tap on it and you say, "What's the weather today?" and it tells it to you in your ear. It translates 26 different languages.
Cool.
Yeah, so...
Well, is this a little device that you carry with you?
No, it's a hearing aid, but it's called a Healthable now.
A Healthable. How can you talk to Siri?
Oh, because it's all built in. It all has artificial intelligence, and it's just this little teeny device now, and you don't even see it. So not only do you get the hearing benefits from it, but you get all the health benefits too.
Think about our cell phones. Our cell phones were big and barely, just too huge for our hands sometimes. Now look how small they are. And that's what you have done with the hearing devices. The Healthables are just a whole product of that.
Right. Plus, you can now connect to your phone. You can answer your phone in your hearing aid. You can listen to music.
Amazing.
So when you go running or you're out walking and you want to listen to your music, you don't have to have earbuds hanging out of your ears.
So how do you talk to the earplugs?
Yeah.
Or how do you get it to work?
The same way you would echo Siri. Same way.
See, but Nola, I would always be afraid that, I'm like going to the bathroom and I look down and all of a sudden my hearing aid falls into the toilet. Things like that scare me.
How is that going to happen?
Well, it's not, you don't suture them into your ear, the ear canal. So I see people walking around with their hearing device. Some are over the ear.
Yeah.
But, some are just kind of hanging in there. And I just don't have any hooks or Velcro inside my ear canal to be able to keep the hearing aid from falling out, the hearable.
Yeah.
Or healthable.
Well, okay, so basically they're made to fit your ear. And
molded.
we could, some of them are molded and some of them are custom made, but the different size domes. And
Are you able to
fitting in
take
the
them
ear.
out?
Sure. It's the same as any other hearing aid. You can't get them wet. You don't sleep. No.
So you can't, how about taking a shower then, or washing your hair?
You can't get them wet.
You
don't have them in there.
Because sometimes I'm like in a hurry and I'm running and I'm saying, hey, or stuck in the rain. Not that we have a lot of rain here, but for me to remember, oh yeah, I got a Healthable in my ear now. How am I gonna keep track of things like that? I mean, I can just see myself getting in the shower with my with that healthable.
Yeah. Well, you'll hear the shower and you'll notice the difference. So you'll hurry up and
It'll
take
be
them
muffled.
out.
They don't rush, do they?
They won't. They can take a certain amount of moisture. It's just that you're not going to go swimming and stand in the shower with them on. It's the
Alright.
same thing that we always had, except now they come in all the different colors. And so the president of the company, not Bill Austin, but his stepson, is the president of the company, and he has a grandson who's 11. So the grandson came up out on the stage with his blue hearing aids on. He doesn't have a hearing loss. Guess what? He got them for free, but he was telling us that he can hear his music in the classroom, and nobody knows he has it on. So now all his friends want one too, but
Yeah.
I don't think
so
that's
he could
going
be
to be
on
possible.
He could actually be on the phone. He could be taking a test and just mumbling like, Roman Empire fell in what year, and it'll give him the answer, and people
Yeah.
wouldn't know it.
That's true.
Yikes! Yikes!
That would be a problem. I don't think that. I don't think that's what he was thinking of at that point, but he was thinking of his
Can
music.
you see an ear check when you walk into class? Man, that could be a problem.
Well, they have phone checks, don't they? So they have an ear check.
I guess.
So it's kind of exciting news because one of
That
the
is.
things.
This is so cool.
One of the things that people said, well, I'm too young. I'm too young for a hearing aid. Well, hearing loss doesn't affect age.
Nope.
You can have a hearing loss when you're 11. I just fit an 11-year-old with hearing aids.
Yep.
You can have a hearing loss when you're born. It has nothing to do with your age. Of course, as people do get older, we do lose more hearing from noise exposure mostly, from years of wear and tear, but not everybody. I mean, none of us wear hearing aids here. We're all,
You can't see mine.
seniors.
Well, it's interesting because sometimes
I
I'll
don't
be
wear them.
I'll be driving in the car, and here comes a car full of teenagers, and the radio is blaring out loud, and I'm thinking to myself, "Oh, you stupid little girls and boys, turn that radio down. It's destroying your hearing,
Yeah.
and you don't know it."
Yeah.
That's right.
And I'd even tried to get their attention to tell them, but they'd probably say, "Screw you, lady."
Because
What do
they
you
don't
know?"
realize when they get
No.
older, that's what's going to happen.
That's exactly right.
We're all kind of like that to a certain degree, and that's why some of the people around us are suffering. I mean, for our generation, we had a war, and some people have suffered in many ways, but through their hearing as well.
Right.
So, everybody has been impacted, but when you get older and you lose your hearing, it impacts your quality of life.
That's right.
Because if you're driving and you don't hear the siren, that's a problem, right? If you go to a movie and you can't hear the movie, problem. If you're trying to watch television and you can't hear the news on television, that's not good either. So and just have general discussions. You go to your doctor's office and, you walk out and say, "Oh, gee, now I need an operation," and, the doctor really didn't say that. So there's that miscommunication can markedly and negatively affect one's life if you don't realize that you have a hearing deficit.
Or want to admit it.
And that
true.
becomes a problem too.
That's
But
true.
everybody should be screened, though. Everybody, Nola, should be screened. One, because they should get a baseline to know where they are. Because if they don't look too bad at some point, a year from now, 5 years from now, it could impact them. But you want to know that. You don't want to go, "Oh, yeah, this has always been like this. It's not been good anyway." I mean, truthfully, you do your hearing test, you find that, "Oh, it's this 5 years ago, but now it's this," and that could reflect that you do need a healthable to utilize that to be able to live life better.
Right. Well, that's why Advanced Audiology is known for its community service of giving free hearing screenings so that everybody could have a baseline hearing screening. And what's important is, like, a lady came in yesterday and she goes, "You've taught me so much today." And I said, "That's what we love here. We'd love to educate you so that you can make good decisions, so that you understand what it's all about. You know, when you go to the doctor and you get your heart checked, you want to know, what did the test mean? What does that mean to me in my life? Well, we do the same thing at Advanced Audiology because we care about people learning and understanding. We are not just slapping some product on your ear and getting you out the door like you're going to a store to buy a medical device, not a commodity. And it's more and more and more where people are just saying, oh, those cost too much. But you got to look at the service you're getting. It's not just about the hearing aid. You need so much more than a hearing aid. They don't do everything. You have to be educated. They have to be cleaned. They have to be adjusted. You have to be retested. You have to have somebody that cares about you.
And you know, that's a good point, because you know, people think that they can go online and find out everything they need to know about whatever they're using, whatever their device, whatever they're driving. They can go online and look things up. I mean, a lot of people, you know, they will come to me after they've been online for you know, a while, and you know, they come in and they tell me what they have, and of course, you know, sometimes they're right, but most of the time they're wrong. So you know, you want to be able to you know, understand what your problem is, but if you don't have that service to be able to say, oh, I know what I need to do right now, I got to go see Nola, I got to, you know, see what she can do, clean this out or readjust it, or you know, or enlighten me and educate me about what this does for me and my hearing, and how maybe I can enhance it later down the line to do even more things.
Right. Well, it's not only about hearing aids. We have wax in our ears. We have fluid in our ears. Our three little bones might be broken. We never know what the problem is, but you know, and just like Carl Goldman, the owner of KHTS Radio here, I found a tumor in his ear. He wouldn't have found that tumor if he didn't know me, and he didn't come to me for a diagnostic evaluation.
That's right. That's very true.
So I saved his life, and now he's getting it handled. So it's not just about hearing aids. When you've got to go to an audiologist or a professional to get your hearing checked. You can't just go to a store and expect that somebody that just graduated from high school and gets a degree will be able to give you the same type of information.
That's true. That's true. And we need to take a break, don't we? I'm Barbara Cochran with my co-host, Dr. Jean Dorio, on your hometown station, 98.1 FM, AM 1220 KHTS.
Do you ever listen, but you're not really paying attention? Sort of like what you're doing to me right now. This is Alex Urbina, your advanced life coach specialist. One of the most frequent questions I hear is, what is a life coach? Well, tune in every Friday at noon to learn the value of having a coach and listen to a live coaching session on the radio. Right here on your hometown station, KHTS.
There's a very good reason Embrace Your Smile has been voted Santa Clarita's #1 orthodontist for 10 years in a row.
Honestly, it's our team.
Dr. Megan LaCornu.
I think for me, what makes it stand out is when I have patients that come up to me and say, we have never been in a doctor's office that feels like this. Our team is a family, and we really get along, and we are really passionate about what we do, helping our patients get the smiles they want and deserve.
Dr. Megan LaCornu of Embrace Your Smile Orthodontics.
Embrace your smile.
EmbraceYourSmile.com.
Yesterday, December 7th, 1941, a date which will live in infamy.
We salute our veterans who sacrificed for our freedom.
Santa Clarita veteran Bill Reynolds.
Each week, we share an inspirational story of a local veteran on our Hometown Heroes page at hometownstation.com, thanks to our good friends at Eternal Valley.
I'm Richard Nunnally, General Manager of Eternal Valley Memorial Park and Mortuary. We believe taking care of each other is what community is all about. We're proud to bring you the stories of our hometown heroes.
Eternal Valley, life well celebrated.
no contract pest control. Did you hear that? Yes, Unipest has no contract, low impact, affordable, and environmentally and family friendly pest control options with orange oil or other family friendly products. Whether it's ants, spiders, gophers, termites, or bed bugs, Unipest Termite and Pest Control has an effective, eco-friendly option for you. Call Unipest today for a free orange oil inspection at 661-BUG-7575 or visit unipest.com.
At Advanced Audiology, we know how important hearing is to you, your loved ones, your work success, your safety, and your ability to stay in the game. Most people won't admit hearing loss to themselves or others. We make it easy for you. Today's digital hearing aids come in a variety of styles, including invisible. All feature-rich, providing unparalleled hearing quality, wearing comfort, and automation that simplifies your life. Don't be fooled by our imitators. There's only one Advanced Audiology with the purple sign, next to AAA on Valencia Boulevard.
98.1 FM and AM 1220.
Will you still need me? Will you still feed me when I'm 64?
Welcome back to the Senior Hour. I'm Dr. Gene Dorio with my co-host Barbara Cochran on your hometown station, AM 1220 and 98.1 FM KHTS. We're talking with Nola Aronson about the healthables, and healthables are the tools now we have for better hearing and a better life, a better quality of life, because it does so many things. When we say Bluetooth, some of our listeners might not understand that concept, but it involves computerization. It involves being able to reach outside and beyond what we've ever done before with the electronics, and people are able to do things in a way that people don't even know about, like his 11-year-old grandson who was using it in school and the teacher didn't even know it.
Yeah.
So there are, the technology is out there, Nola, and you're constantly being educated on that technology, which is great. Where do you see this technology? This is a tough question. Did they give you insight as to the other things that they might have in the future in terms of healthables?
There's just no end to what you can do nowadays with technology, but not to scare anybody, but don't worry about any of this. It's all automatic, and you could use it if you want to use it and not use it if you don't want to use it. But the biggest thing that they've worked on is being able to have the clarity of speech in a noisy environment.
That's big time.
Which is the biggest thing that everybody complains about.
That's right.
And
go to a restaurant, go to a party, a family dinner, and echoes, and you're reading lips again, and not an easy task.
Right. So we have coming up, for Valentine's Day, you don't want to miss the hearing of your loved one. You don't want to miss those sweet little whisperings in your ear. So we have a special coming up next week, and if you come in and you qualify after a free hearing screening to try some of these devices, you will get flowers and candy for your loved one, as well as helping them because you're hearing better.
Wow.
Yes.
So you get all the benefits, and that will be at Advanced Audiology, which is at 23822 Valencia Boulevard in the Owen Patterson Century 21 building, next to AAA.
Yes.
We're in Suite 103. You have to walk up a few steps, but we do have parking underneath for those that can't walk up some steps. Also, the phone number is 661-253-EARS. That's 661-253-3277. And if you say you're calling from the radio, we'll just give you the certificate for the candy and the flowers.
Cool.
If you call today for a free hearing screening from the radio, we will give you the certificate without having to qualify.
So the candy and flowers are also called healthables?
Yeah.
Do they fit in
Well,
that
flowers,
category?
they make you feel better.
There you go. No, not only, the important part about what you do is screening and making sure that people have baseline, but what you've done in our community, and we thank you for that. We honor you for doing all the things that you've done. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. So we connect people to people.
People to people. Very
Hear
good.
better, live better.
We are sponsored by Comfort Keepers in Home Care and Advanced Audiology. Listen to us next week on the Senior Hour. Now go and enhance your quality of life.